and we are back for the finale of Adventure 1 for Diddy Kong Racing. Now before we can even get into Future Funland, there's a couple things we need to do. Since we've done all the Grand Prix, there's actually a new character we can get. What we need to do is equip a car so we can go find this frog and run it over. And I thought it was down by the beach, but I realized no, it's actually right there. You can see with the mohawk. And it's actually pretty hard to hit. So what I did was I just kind of got myself a good amount of distance. Like I tried doing it a couple times, as you can tell. But the way that worked was I got a lot of distance over here, and then I just floored it. Once you do that, you get Drumstick. I believe he's very similar in gameplay to Crunch. I did use him a little bit as a teenager, but when I tried using him as an adult, I cannot. It is much easier just to use Timber. So from here we need to equip our plane so we can get into Wizpig's mouth over there and challenge him to a race. Now, we're in for one of the rudest boss fights I have ever played. And while it is possible, as evident by the fact that I've done it here, and did it as a teenager and everything else, it sucks. So you have to hit pretty much all these dash pads, and if you land in the water, it's just game over and you have to reset the whole thing. And as you can tell, there's a lot of sections where you can fall into water, like right there. Just completely stall your engine. And the only reason I didn't give up is because I can still see him. Once he's completely out of my sight, that's whenever it's time to reset. This took me a solid 10-20 minutes at like 3 in the morning whenever I was playing. Which, considering their laps are like a minute long, that is quite a bit. Especially since I would give up after like the first one if he got out of range or something else happened. But at a certain point I managed to keep up. And you can see we don't have much of a lead, but we do have a little bit. You also notice that I'm not really drifting virtually at all. I'm mostly just using the standard steering because you can't get any speed on this thing by drifting. And even then, we finished with him right behind us.
to say goodbye. See you later, worms.
Yeah, and so technically that is the end of the game. Future Funland is actually post-game, or at least it would be considered post-game by today's standards, but I still consider it part of the main game, so I will see you guys after the end credits. Alright, and continuing our adventure, I'm grabbing a hovercraft here, or a plane, one of the two. Just because we have to cross a little bit of water. We're gonna head over to the lighthouse. So we needed all the trophy races to get this area, as you can tell by the sign here. Trying to land in front of it, and then I need to beep at it. Would have been better if I just did a hovercraft. I don't know why I bothered with the plane. So I crash into the sign, or at least that was my goal, and then just keep spamming the horn. There we go.
Okay, it's control.
And here we are, the mythical future Funland. I have a little bit of lore to tell, but not quite yet. This is the moment where I knew I effed up. Remember how early on I grabbed this balloon? And I let all you know early on that I missed it? Yeah, this is where I realized I didn't have it. Anyway, so because my siblings and I never unlocked future Funland, like we never could beat the dragon, much less Wizpig. We never got Future Funland, except for the weird times whenever we would put the cartridge in wrong, and it would just have 3 files with max silver balloons and future funland and everything else unlocked. When we were kids and we were stupid, we thought it was because I had just drank hot chocolate and somehow my breath being hot whenever I blew into the thing was what caused it. Years later, I learned about cartridge tilting, and I believe that's what it actually was we tilted the cartridge slightly. Anyway, this is Space Dust Alley. This is actually the first plane level I really struggled with, coming back to the game. Which isn't too shocking. It's pretty... There's not very many dashers in it. And there's one shortcut here, which I don't take in this playthrough at all. But I will take whenever I do the TT route. So keep an eye out. I believe that'll be next week's episode, so it'll be a bonus. This is the only time I think I've ever used the 10 missile. I rarely ever use this stupid thing. It's such a bad power-up. I very much agree with what they did in the DS version, at least for balancing purposes, of level 2 being a 5 or 3 missile, one of the two, and then the third level was the heat-seeking missile. Because the heat-seeking missile is the best one. So anyway, if you were to turn right there and go underneath, you could hit that zipper and then go into the cave. You will need to do that for the TT races, but for these I was able to cheese it enough. Just by holding the line and getting blue balloons as much as I can. I mean, I still have a marginal lead right now. Also, I want to further reiterate, this and the next level were done at like 2 or 3 in the morning. So I was getting very sleep deprived at that point, and I wasn't exactly thinking straight either. I was just enjoying all the bright colors as they flashed in front of me like this. Like, you really don't see video games this alien colored anymore. Like, it's bright, but it's not eyesore bright. And now we get to suffer the actual hardest level in the entire game. Certainly the one I struggled with the most in terms of the TT race, the silver coins, and everything else. Dark Moon Caverns. So as with most car levels, you really got to hit those dashes, which is why Diddy's got ahead, and at a certain point, they just become... How many sharp turns can I put into a single track? So we got a sharp turn here, sharp turn here, sharp turn here, sharp turn here, hit a dash. You got a spiral here, so you really need to drift through this to get through all this section. It's not a fun level. Aesthetically, it looks amazing, and I really hate that. Like, I love how the most obnoxious levels are aesthetically pleasing, but whatever. Anyway, as I'm just learning this, and it's 3 in the morning, I didn't know I was actually just supposed to drift a little bit here, and then drive straight forward. Same thing with that previous hallway before the loop-de-loop. If you hit this dash pad I keep missing, hold the gas, do not let up on the gas, you'll hit the ceiling if you do. You actually don't want to get the full boost from that one. Keep crashing into these craters for some reason. Dash through here. And you really gotta, like, do the drift and brake, which is what I'm having a problem with right now. Is I have nowhere near mastered that technique. I'm starting to use it, as you can tell, I just did it there. But I'm not at a level, at this point in the playthrough, where that was just instinctive. Now you just need to drift here, go forward. You can always tell which ones I struggled the most with whenever I give you detailed instructions. Yeah, I shouldn't have done that. I should have just kept driving, but whatever. I also notice I'm having a hard time getting bananas on here. That's another issue I have with this one. It is very hard to get to your max acceleration. And we barely win this. I still have Diddy, Conquer, and whoever has the orange car. I don't remember who that is. Right on my backside. You know, I think it's Crunch. I think Crunch has the orange one. Now, because it's 3 in the morning, I debated continuing, but in the end, I opted to just wait until the next day. And we do Spaceport Alpha, one of the best flying levels, but also pretty difficult to master. I love this one whenever my siblings would actually be able to get this. So you need to fly high here and then dive, but not too early, otherwise clip the wall like that. Hold the R button and then turn left here so you can get through the dash. I prefer to try to get some bananas, but I didn't. And if I'm doing the TT route, I go for that dasher on the right. I ignore the one on the left. But here I'm just trying to learn the course, so I'm just flying low to avoid getting shot by crap. And then this is a good spot to load up on bananas so you can reach your max acceleration. Really gotta have a sharp turn here. Let's see if I do it right this time. I do. Okay, good. And once again, I'm not gonna end up doing it on the first route or on the. Oh, maybe. No, I tried going for both. Don't try to go for both. It's too greedy. It's gonna bite you in the behind. It will not work. We don't have a major lead, but we have enough of one that if we hit something, we're okay. Which is good, because again, I barely hit that dash and ended up hitting this wall. And we missed that dash entirely. This time I just stay low, get the balloon. I was going to try to go through the zipper, but with the shots going through it, I don't think it's a good idea, to be honest. I didn't do it at all during the TT run, so in optimal conditions, it's not a good idea to go through it. And next up we have Star City, which isn't difficult necessarily. There's just one thing you gotta know about this one, besides all the sharp turns. There's a dash pad you actually want to avoid, like the Black Blade, because that will screw you over. This one is not it. It's the next one. Do not hit this dash pad. You'll end up driving off of this road, and then you'll have to loop around manually, which costs you a lot of time. But other than that, it's pretty easy. It's just kind of hold the line. This, you'll have a lot of sharp turns, which you really got to get good at drifting and then braking, which I'm not doing here. Once again, wait till next week. We got the TT episode. I'll show you me being able to go through it like an actual smart person. And then you want to drift a little bit here, forward, drift a bit on your way out. Super easy compared to Dark Moon Caverns, which just has all those pseudo U-turns everywhere. So once again, dodge that one. You can drift through this road. I don't here because I'm scared, to be honest. I don't want to go off the edge. But in the future, just you can literally just drift, virtually no consequence. And here I'm just doing drift rather than just using drift in the brake, which is okay. But as you can see by the end one, I did hit the wall, so has its limits. I almost guarantee when I was a teenager, the reason why the TT levels were so hard was because I didn't do the drift brake strategy. Way too early. When you drift, you almost have to do it like just before the turn, or like just at the last third of it if you want to get it right. And they put that dash in the road there. I almost never hit it, and it's never really held me back. Now, because Future Funland is mostly bonus content, we don't really have a first phase boss, especially since we already fought Wizpig before. So, we go straight into the Silver Coin Challenge here.
Space dust out.
Now, this one wasn't too bad. So we have them below the dash here, and then there's one in the road down there. And then there's going to be one on the roof here, so you gotta be careful not to get shocked, even though I did. And then there's gonna be one at the end of each of these banana lines, so you'll have to get one on one lap and then another on the other. Now in this area, there's one up high, careful not to get shocked, and then dive down. And you'll need to dash this. And I am barely not clipping into things. There's one in the middle, but I just keep forgetting to fly close to it. Or I keep forgetting it's there and failing to fly close enough to it. And now, because there's only 2 tokens left, I'm just trying to find trying to get to that split one, and then I need to get the one in the middle at the end. So everything else we can just dash as normal. How did both of them hit the zapper? Man, these guys are knuckleheads. Once again, you could also take that shortcut and turn right way earlier to do this. I'm just an idiot here. And I did not need to do that. That actually just completely bit me in the backside. Then hold the center so we get the token. Now all I gotta do is take first. Which now I have max acceleration, I just have to hit all the zippers. And for some reason I opted to turn left there. You can just go straight through the lasers. It would have kept Diddy here from getting ahead of me. But it is what it is. I'm just holding the main line because I'm terrified of them catching up to me. Grab a missile. And then we're holding a hard right, hard left, and once I get the straight line, I dash through. And now we have the infamous, the insufferable Dark Moon Caverns. Also, the reason why I am putting jump cuts between these is so that it's easier to find the victory run, because this sucked every single one of these. I think the only one that I didn't get a first, or the only one I got a first try was Star City. So I completely missed the first token. And remember what I said about holding down the button? Yeah, that's why. I just cracked my head on the ceiling. Completely missed the second token, completely missed the third token. Fourth one I somehow clip even though I didn't even physically see it. That one I missed. It's just an absolute mess. Sad thing is this is the victory run, so you know I eventually get it, but it is a pain. Drift on this road. Set an oil slick just to get rid of it, because oil slicks are useless to me in this. There's one in the middle here, which is a gimme, so you don't have to worry about it as much. And then you're going to drift here, and then there's another one in the middle. That one's a bit harder to aim for, because you have to be right on it as you're coming out of the tunnel. Alright, so now I go for the token. I ignore the dash pad this time, because I'm tired of cracking my head on the ceiling. Completely forget that token's there. Dash here, get this token. And then this time I do a crisscross to try to get to the dash pad while also getting the token. So the only one I'm missing is that one I completely missed in the first area. But now I'm cracking myself into walls, and these guys are getting ahead of me again. So I barely weave forward. And admittedly, I do have more bananas than the time I beat it with for the regular race. But it is what it is. Now all we gotta do is get this token over here. And I was hoping to just get rid of the oil slick, but I hit the blaster balloon and threw away a missile for no reason. Somehow I have a good enough lead at the end here. I just locked in with the power of pure spite. And now I only have to do this stage one more time. However, that one more time I don't necessarily have to win. So I'm not as upset about it. Alright, next we have Spaceport Alpha, which again, being a plane level, is pretty easy.
Spaceport Alpha.
You can already see the first token aimed at that arrow over there. So I just beeline straight for it. And then there's one over there, which I'm also straight, just beelining. Clip this wall, and then I try to get high up to get the zipper to get my speed back. I was a little too high, so I clipped the wall here, but that's okay, because there's a token in this pit. And there's also a token over here, so I'm going to grab that one before I hit the zipper this time. There's a token in this battlefield area in the lower area. And then when we turn here, it's really high up. There's one right here in the window room. And admittedly, I don't know where the other one was. I'm assuming it was a fork in the road. Based on the way that I'm currently flying. So I take my boost. Ah, yes, I remember this one. This one sucked. So that looked really easy, but that took me a lot of tries to do. Being able to just dash up into the token. That is the worst one to get in this level. But now we have all of them, and now all we have to do is overtake, which is super easy in this level, because there's a lot of zippers. And the AI generally doesn't know where some of them are, because you have to, like... You gotta have a lot of skill to hit that one turn to hit the zipper here. And then, of course, if you're smart, you'll hit the one on the right over there. But I'm not doing that. I'm just taking the blue balloons here. And lastly, we have Star City, which was actually pretty difficult as far as the Silver Coin Challenge went, but I did get it on the first try, so...
Star City.
Obviously, immediately you want to get as many bananas as you can, although if they're driving into them, careful. Take the dash through this, ignore the dash pad there, just drift to the coin, and then be super careful not to go off the edge like I almost did. Second coin is a gimme. Third coin, you have to avoid the dash. Fourth is on the street lamp. Fifth is right on this dash, so you can at least get your speed back. Sixth is pretty hard to hit because you really got to get that sharp turn. Seventh is pretty easy, you'll crash into that half the time. And the eighth one should just be in here in this hallway, so it's a gimme. Literally the only one I need to get is that one that turn. So hit this dash pad, skip the next one. Always skip this one. You're just gonna end up crashing off the edge. Unless you want to like force yourself to get good at doing it and then master getting it consistently in 3 laps, which to me is too much work for a children's game, but whatever. Couldn't hit the dash. Tried to set the oil slick in a way that people would hit it, but they're not going to. Missed the token, ironically, by going too far in this time. I've still got a mild lead. It's nothing marginal yet, but we're getting there. So hit this dash. Drift here. Almost crashed and lost the whole thing. If I had gone over the edge there, that would have been it. And I actually decided not to take the dash this time. Because my goal is to try to get this thing, and I completely miss it. But you know what? We got such a lead, I back into it and then keep going. Tip Tup is barely keeping up with me here, and I managed to boost past him, so I end up winning anyway. After how much I suffered Dark Moon's Caverns, I think I'll take it. Now there's a bit of a jump cut here, because normally you would actually do this trophy race at the true end of the game. But I'm going to do it now because it doesn't make sense for the purposes of the video to do this last. So we're just going to try to win the tournament. I think I win 3 out of the 4, which you could probably guess Dark Moon Caverns is the one I lose. But I actually do win this one. Not easily, mind you. I'm still not doing the shortcut I should be doing. But I do beat it. For the most part, I'm just working on getting bananas in this lap. Like, obviously taking advantage of the dashers whenever I can. I don't use missiles as much as the blue balloons, I've noted. I just feel like the boosters give you much more of a lead than shooting the opponent does. You'll also notice I'm not even attempting that shortcut because I'm worried about clipping the wall like I did in the silver coin race. There is a much better way to do it, but I don't know that at this point in time. Yeah, I shouldn't be clipping that. I don't know what I'm hitting. But it's like the hitbox on that stalagmite, stalactite. It's kind of both. The pillar is just way too wide, and it clips my wing every time I go through it. I have been trying to hit that dash in the middle, but you have to get a certain angle whenever you do a plane dive dash. That's a little harder to get on this one than something like Windmill Plains or Everfrost Peak. So the ones I gotta watch out for are Bumper and Diddy.
Dark Moon Caverns.
That said, I'm probably throwing this one away, if I had to guess. You can tell I'm not even going for that one dash because I'm tired of cracking my head on the ceiling. Completely missed the second one. Ignore the third one to just drive straight through, which could be a good strategy. I still think the dashes are just too broken. And yeah, no. I haven't hit a single dash and now everybody's in front of me. I kind of figured this would be a throwaway, but I also know I'm much better at Star City and Spaceport Alpha that it's not going to be as much of an issue. I drifted way too early. And then somehow sniped Banjo out of that group. This time I'm actually hitting dash pads. Barely clipped the edge of that, but it's giving me enough to get to fourth. Still falling around 6th, but all things considered, I am doing better. Again, in the trophy race, if there's a course you particularly find you're not good at, just make sure you win the other ones, and then you can just have that one as a, you can pretty much come in last on that one and still win. Somehow I actually turned that pretty neat, but then I threw away all the lead I got by crashing into the wall. Now, weirdly enough, neither Bumper nor Diddy are in first place right now, which are the ones that I need to watch out for. I mentioned the rival thing earlier in the series that Mario Kart does. It was actually Drumstick, so because Drumstick got so far ahead, but I'm barely behind Bumper right now. Alright, I missed that dash, but that's okay. This one you want to avoid like the plague. They can hit it because they're cheating, but if I hit it, I'm going to rocket off the side of the frickin' map. While I still haven't figured out how to do the drift break, I'm actually doing regular drifts. Well, oh, nope. I'm starting to learn. I am learning. I'm evolving. And it's always funny watching video game footage from like all of a week ago whenever I first started replaying a game and realizing like, man, I'm an idiot. truly a magical experience. I should have set the oil slick right there, because then they would have hit it and just absolutely crashed out, but that's okay. Alright, I'm at first place, max acceleration, but everybody is kind of on my tail here, so we will see how well this goes. I drift here. I decide to be a brave little toaster for once. Then I actually use my shield instead of letting it just waste. And I set the oil slick way too early. You don't want to set it before dash pads because they'll hit the oil slick, go into the dash pad, and then get all their speed back. It's completely useless. What you want to do is put it on the other side of the dash pad so they hit the dash pad, hit the oil slick, and then just lose complete control. So they get all that speed, but they don't have any way to use it. And then Crunch just steals it from me in the last second, which is kind of karma for me, considering I've been stealing from Crunch the last few rounds. But that's okay, because I'm ahead of Bumper now, and now all I have to do is make sure that I don't lose to Bumper. And it's on the easiest one, Spaceport Alpha, so...
Spaceport Alpha.
So I'm collecting my bananas, and I'm hitting every zipper I can, because I know the AI isn't going to hit several of them. For example, that one. And I very foolishly went into that one. Once again, that one actually has a gun aimed right at it, so it's probably not a good idea to fly into it. I don't collect as many bananas here as I should, but as you can tell by the fact that you're watching it, it doesn't really bite me in the behind that bad. I actually missed that dash, okay. I weave very, very precisely. Get that dash, get the last banana on this section. For some reason, I think that's the strategy, but it's not. Like, the blue balloons is a good strategy because whenever you're on this and you actually have them, 2 blue balloons is about as good as a dash pad in most cases. But generally, it'd be better to just hit the zipper on the right. As I say, that's what I did during the TT races, so... The other thing you can do is use the invincibility to just fly straight through. And now there's no battle track in Future Funland, unfortunately. Would have been cool, but obviously they can give you another trophy. They can't give you another piece of an amulet, so... This is the cutscene that would normally play whenever you finish the Silver Coin challenges. This was a gauntlet. This took about 40 minutes of trying. So that blue balloon is a red herring. Ignore it. Just keep holding left here. And then you want to get this red balloon here. Fly up to this one. And then hold low. You want to go underneath his chin here. Mainly just to cut the line. Grab this blue balloon and dash through here. And Wizpig actually gets tripped up by those, so it's pretty nice. If you can weave in there, you can cut a lot of distance. That's what I've been doing. Ignore the blue one. Always get this balloon. I will have a failure, like a scene of whenever I fail it in the last lap, but that balloon basically gives you a free ride straight through all the missiles, which you desperately need. And then it's kind of just luck, dodging the boulders and everything else. Once again, holding that path of the red balloons. And the reason I'm holding the red balloons is, as you can see by the map, he is literally right behind me. So if he does get ahead of me, I can start either spamming missiles or hitting him with the heat-seeking one. Use the blue one here. I like to weave into this, but you don't have to. And then this is the tight weave you really got to hold to and hope you don't flip that pillar. Always get the shield balloon. I shouldn't have got that. I was outside of it, but my hitbox is bigger than I thought, which means I can fly straight through. And then holding the left so I avoid all these meteors. Same path as normal. Try to avoid all the missiles being fired at you. Dash here as normal. Alright, and here's where I missed the balloon. The only reason it didn't bite me in the behind is because I know where these bullets are aimed at. You fly high, just don't go right in the middle there and you're good. And even with me crashing here, I still managed to win. I made 2 mistakes in that entire run. That is how unforgiving this boss fight is. It took me a solid 40 minutes to beat him. And once again, a lot of that 40 minutes is me giving up within the first lap because he just gets such an insurmountable lead. So that is Adventure 1 for Diddy Kong Racing. I am going to go ahead and pass on doing Adventure 2 for a minute because we've been doing this for a month. At the time of recording this, not a single episode has gone out, so I'll see how the statistics are doing and see if there's actually any interest in Adventure 2 before I even decide to do it. It's not that much different. It is significantly harder because the AI is a lot smarter. The tracks are all mirrored, so everything that's on the right is now on the left, and everything that's on the left is now on the right. And, of course, the biggest change is during the silver coins, they all have different locations, which are a lot more unforgiving than even the ones that were in Adventure 1. I will, however, be doing the TT Unlock Challenge. That will be next week. And then in 2 weeks, I might do a cheats video of all the different codes you can put in. There's a couple interesting ones that I especially want to cover, but we will see. It just depends on how well this is doing by the time I'm done with the full challenge. Anyway, I will leave you to enjoy the rest of the end credits. That is all for this one. Tune in next week to get the TT Unlock Guide. Thank you for watching. Happy haunting.